and I'm a student member of Student Welfare Group. And I have with me my co-host Parth Nanda, who is also a student member of Student Welfare Group. So without much ado, let's get to know more about our esteemed panelists. Abhijay, would you please introduce yourself to us?
Okay, so I'm a fourth year undergraduate in the Department of Electrical Engineering, and this summer I interned at Salesforce as a software engineering intern.
Thank you, Abhijay. Anshul, would you please introduce yourself to us?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Anshul Temple, and I'm an undergraduate Department of enrolled in.
Anshul, I think so. There's some issue with your mic. Like, can you reconfigure it?
Hello.
Yeah.
Is this fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Myself, Anshul Tembre, and I'm a fourth year undergraduate from the Department of Electrical Engineering, enrolled in its BTech course of Instrumentation Engineering. And yeah, this summer I interned at Credit Suisse in its Quant Stats division.
Thank you, Anshul.
Thank you.
Pratyush, would you please introduce yourself to us?
Hello everyone, I'm Pratyush Saha. I'm a fourth year undergraduate from the Department of Electrical Engineering and I did my summer intern at Microsoft as a data and applied scientist.
Thank you, Pratyush. Parth, would you please introduce yourself to us?
Hi everyone, this is Bharat. I interned with LEK Consulting as a strategy consultant.
Okay, thank you, Parth. Atharva, please give a brief intro about yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Atharva Agle. So I was an intern at Deutsche Bank and I received a pre-placement offer from there.
Okay. And your department, Atharva?
I'm from the Department of Chemical Engineering and Financial Planning.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's get started with the questions. So the first question is, how did you get started with the given profile? Abhijay, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so for me, solving problems always came natural. So, the closest thing to JE which I found in college was CP. So I kept on doing CP from second year, and I realized that there was actually a job with it, that is software engineering. And yes, so like by default, I went into it.
So Pratyush, would you like to take this now?
Yeah, so during the first 2 years of my college, I was highly motivated towards core engineering, core electrical engineering. But after the lockdown in March 2020, I started exploring the field of ML and data science, and I actually found it quite intriguing and interesting. So I continued it for the next 4 to 5 months rigorously and applied for this role through CDC, and I got the opportunity.
Okay. Anshul, would you like to go next?
Right. So for me, it was like from my first year, I was inclined toward exploring various things in KGP, and similarly, I had explored many profiles like machine learning, coding, finance itself, and I came to know that I do like finance a bit, and at the same time, I was inclined towards data. So yeah, so these two things are the core intricacies of quant profile itself, and so this is how I started to get introduced to this profile, and then I did a few courses, and this is how I had started it.
Okay. Parth, would you like to go now?
Sure. So from the beginning of college, I was interested in business and strategy roles, and then I joined the fest and made a profile that was suitable for management and strategy. And thus, I've been a part of a lot of startups as a product manager, and it developed more interest over the field of strategy and consulting, solving case studies and doing estimates. So it was a relevant profile to go for me.
Okay. Athar, would you like to go now?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, I've been enrolled in the financial planning course right after my first year. So, as a part of the financial planning course, you have one subject almost every semester. So, right from our second year, we had subjects like corporate finance and economics. So, they're like good courses which have like good introductory concepts. So that is what really sparked my interest in the start. And I think at the end of end of my second year, I had pursued an internship KPMG, which was primarily focused on a substream of finance itself. So that is where I really got interested in finance.
Okay. So now let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next question is, how did you choose this profile? Did you explore other profiles as well? Okay, so Pratyush, can you go now first?
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, yeah, I did explore the core engineering profile as well. In the first 2 years, I was highly inclined towards electronics and stuff. And uh, last year, March, I started exploring this field of ML and data science. I first did that specialization in Coursera for the deep learning, and I was quite interested in this field. And then after that, I put more efforts and then started exploring this field. So in this way, I chose this particular profile.
Okay. Parth, now can you go on?
Sure. So after my second year itself, I was intrigued with the fields of product management. I did a couple of interns in the field and eventually developed an interest in the field of strategy itself. Though not a lot of firms come for the product management role in the internship. One firm comes for consulting role. So I sat for consulting profiles and for one finance firm. Yeah, those were the two roles I targeted. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. So now, Atharv, can you go next?
Yeah, sure. So basically the decision that I took to pursue finance was majorly, like I said, after my second year when I interned at KPMG. From your third year, you do start to think about which profile you want to get into or what could be a strong suit. So I realized pretty soon that coding or software profiles weren't something I was very inclined towards. So also my core subjects of chemical engineering, they were interesting, but not as much as finance. So I did keep that option open as well. I did explore a little bit in my core, but as far as CDC was concerned, but finance was always my first preference. And yeah, I think that's where I was really genuinely interested. So
Anshul, what was your experience with this?
Okay, so for me, it was not especially choosing quant profile as such, since it was quite a new profile for me at that time. Uh, but yeah, I had certain profiles in mind during my CDC internship, CDC internships, which included data and consulting and finance as such. So this was one of the, and this particular role was one of the roles that came in that particular basket. So, and I had applied for this one, and yeah, consequently, I got this, and that is how I was chosen for it. Apart from that, I had explored other profiles as well, as I told that I had been in data, finance, consulting as also, yeah, and a bit of software.
Vijay, would you like to take this next?
Yeah, so from my second year only, I started exploring various profiles like machine learning, software engineering, and some others deep learning, etc. But slowly, I realized that I liked doing CP more, and hence, I got a little bit more driven towards software engineering because I didn't like research as much as the core field of engineering. So I that eliminated machine learning, deep learning, etc. for me, and yeah, so I settled here.
Okay. So let's go to the next question. So what resources would be needed to explore your profile? So any one of the panelists would like to go first? Okay, so I would
Sure,
say
I'll
that,
go.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so for consulting roles, I think what you need for the interviews would be case studies and estimates. A good way to prepare for these profiles is definitely sitting for off campus prior to CDC internships. Definitely product management and other consulting firms if possible. Consulting firms usually don't hire off campus, but you can definitely go for product management internship as the preparation for it is usually in like the path is the same for them. You have to do a lot of case studies, you have to do guesstimates. Resources would be the standard casebooks. There are a lot of casebooks to refer to, the IM casebook, the ISB casebook. Even KGP has its own casebook now written by a few of my friends. So those casebooks and in general discussions with you usually have a case group of 5 to 6 people. You practice cases with them, you do guesstimates and all. So best way to prepare for this kind of role is basically brainstorming with your friends on different cases and different guesstimates. A basic estimate could be anything from number of milk you intake every day to number of birds in Australia, something like that. So it's all about brainstorming and thinking out loud that how can you reach out, how can you reach to a numeric solution to any kind of problem.
Okay, anyone else would like to go now?
Sure. So I
Uh,
can talk about finance. So most, if you look at it from an interview perspective, usually different finance firms could have different interviews. In my case, I tell you, like for example, Deutsche Bank had a much more CV focused interview. There is a little bit weightage given to HR questions, and there's a little bit also given to other technical aspects like puzzles or guesstimates. And I mean, obviously for the latter, there are a lot of resources out there. So a lot of people, which most people know about, right? There is book on fifth probability problems. There is Heard in the Street. So all these are always there, which people can refer to. Probability is another very important aspect which is asked in interviews. They could also, very rarely cases can be involved in finance interviews, but not very much seen. Guesstimates and puzzles are there too. If you talk about finance specific, not a lot of firms expect you to have a lot of finance knowledge at the internship interview level. But if you want to gather certain amount of basic knowledge, then there are certain resources out there like Zerodha modules, there's Investopedia, you have a Vault guide, which is a very short basic revision of finance concepts. Some people, I think, even use CFA books if they start pretty early, although those take time. So I wouldn't say I went through all of these myself per se, but it would have been useful if you do go through them and you're beginning from a very early stage. So yeah.
Right. And continuing with for quant. So for someone who is new to this profile, there are various resources available on internet. Uh, if I mention some of these, then there are various resources on YouTube and Coursera, courses on Coursera. There's also a course on NPTEL from IIT Guwahati. Apart from that, there are blogs on Investopedia. There are EP-Chen's blogs and Quantinsti, and there are many others. And there's also a very good GitHub repository consolidated by Pai Patel on quant finance resources. If possible, then I'll share this link with you afterwards. Apart from that, so it's similar to other profiles, like there are puzzles and problems, probability and statistics. So for PropStats, the major resource for me personally was the institute courses, the IIT Kharagpur courses in PropStats. Apart from that, for practice, there are books like Heard on the Street and 50 Challenging Problems, as well as Zinfeng. So yeah.
Yes. So for the data science role, you have for the from the interview perspective and the selection rounds, you have to be proficient with Python programming, and then a little bit knowledge of DSA is also required. Not to the extent in which it is asked in software engineering roles, but yes, they would ask you programming. And PropStats is compulsory and mandatory prerequisite. So for that, as Anshul said, the institute courses are more than sufficient, and you have to learn the algorithms for machine learning and data science. So for that, there are multiple blogs, and also you can learn from YouTube or Coursera. And apart from that, there's also one part of statistics which they focus like on hypothesis testing and everything. So that is also present in the data analytics course of the institute. and or you can just learn it from YouTube. It's not that a big deal. You have to practice programming a little bit.
Okay, so coming to SWE roles, so like initially in second year, there's a course offered by CS department called Algo and Algo Lab. So I think that's pretty much mandatory if you want to go for SWE roles. Like it will improve your grasp on algorithms and data structures. So that's very much essential if you want to get into SWE roles. And apart from that, what you need to do is like I would suggest it's better to go for CP. Like competitive programming is not like compulsory for SWE roles, but it always helps because it will like improve your grasp on solving problems and the rate at which you solve, like the speed, etc. So these often matter in technical interviews because the interviews are time limited and you are required to solve problems within that time limit. So if you are like if you solve problems in CP very frequently, then like there's a good chance that you will be actually able to solve questions in the interview as well. So yeah, so CP helps, and like the major resource for getting into SWE roles is definitely Lead Code. So it's very much recommended that you solve problems on Lead Code just before the interviews. Interview Bit is also another website which I would say that you should like there's a whole bunch of problems in Interview Bit, and it's always better to like complete the whole set at least once or twice before you sit for the interviews. So yeah, like that's good enough for SW intern, and like it always helps if like you already have an intern beforehand, so like you already have the experience of pushing code, merging, rebasing, etc. So like a good knowledge on Git is important.
Okay, now moving on. What skill sets, according to you, are quintessential for your particular profile and how to develop them? Pratyush, should you like to start?
Yeah, as I already mentioned on the prerequisites, like skill sets, you have to be proficient with Python, and in the internship, you are most likely to get a project in which deep learning would be involved. So you should have a grasp on a particular framework, either TensorFlow or PyTorch, and you should have a habit of reading research papers because you have to take inspiration from others' work before you proceed. And then a basic knowledge of data structures is required because you have to make solutions which are both memory and time efficient. So yeah, these are the particular skill sets according to me which are required. And apart from that, as I already mentioned, that probability statistic is asked in the interview, but it won't be that much applicable to you during the internship. And a basic idea of databases like SQL databases is would be very much beneficial for you. It would give you an upper hand during the internship.
Anshul, would you like to go next?
Right. So for quant, the skill set is quite similar to that compared to data science. So to list down things, it would be first would be a good knowledge of probability and statistics. Apart from that, person should be you should be proficient in coding in any one language at least. And apart from that, the knowledge of finance and machine learning would always be a plus, but these are not necessary.
Atharv, would you like to go next?
Yeah, sure. So, for a finance profile, I don't think there is any defined skill set which is there, at least in terms of acquiring a CDC intern. Not a lot of firms will expect you to, have any sort of vast knowledge of finance or any like even a background is not needed per se. Having said that, like having basic knowledge is good and that will give you an edge over other candidates. So you should always prepare for that. There are qualities which firms might look for in you. So if I if I can think of certain qualities on the top of my head, they would want people who are good at logical reasoning, critical thinking. You should have a good way of communicating what you want to communicate, and be confident while you're doing that, right? So when you're presenting any ideas, they should be presented in a structured manner. Another thing is presence of mind, and this is in fact tested as well. So in some interviews, they can just ask you quick math questions. So in a pressure in an interview session, in an interview situation where there's a lot of pressure, you're given a sudden quick math problem and you're told to solve it very fast. So a lot of candidates can't go through that. So you have to be very calm and have that presence of mind to answer those questions. You should another important thing is you should have in-depth knowledge of any work that you've done in your previous projects or interns. So not just the work that you've done, but anything related to that or anything around it. Which it could be a finance intern or not, but you need to know the work that you've done. And when you talk about building on the qualities that I mentioned before, there are a lot of ways to make your communication better. I think people know about all of that. Thinking ability is enhanced when you do puzzles and like you stimulate your mind in different ways. You think about different puzzles in different ways, right? So that helps always. And yeah, finance knowledge can be acquired using the resources that I mentioned before. So yeah.
Parth, would you like to add anything?
So pretty much to what Atharva said, strategy, structured thinking is very important for any consulting role. Apart from that, again, CV is very important, and clear and concise communication skills are also very important. To stand out from the crowd that is applying for the roles, I would suggest to have a good CGPA, probably above 8.5. That's usually the shortlisting criteria for most of the consulting firms. Apart from that, on-campus involvements that would help you develop, a better communication skills would be participating in more events or being a part of some cell or a fest. That is definitely helpful and gets you the spikes on your profile. That is one for getting your profile shortlisted. For prep, it's mostly how good you are able to communicate what you are. Yeah, so pretty much what Athav said. Mostly how good you are able to communicate, how you are thinking through the case, and how definitely quick calculations in mathematics for guesstimates make sense. Like if I want to estimate any number, let's say 5% of 179, you should be very quick with that, and you should be good with numbers. You should not make any calculation errors. That's a very bad sign in any type of interview, and definitely a very bad sign in any consulting interview. Definitely.
Abhishek, would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, so pretty much what Atharv said, like it is very essential how you communicate with the team, because in software interns, what you are going to do is you will be working with a team. So a team usually has one or two interns, or in some cases even more. It has some normal engineers, like people who are SD1, people who are SD2. That means like in a relatively senior level, and people who are senior software engineers. So like you need to communicate with them which problems you are facing, which things can be improved, or if you like if you think that the pipeline is not really what you want it to be, there's some issues in the code, etc. So it's really important that you communicate with the team. And definitely for SW interns, what you need is problem solving. So you need to be very efficient and very quick at solving problems. That is competitive programming. And like during the interviews, in third year, if you're a CS guy, then they may actually ask you DBMS networks, oops, questions on these. So and even if you are not like, you may be asked, and it may happen that you do not, like, you have to answer. So like in my case, I said that I didn't have these courses, being from non-CS background. So like I was excused and I was only asked questions on CP, but it may not be the case always. And like you always need to know how to write good code, right? Because when you are trying to impress the interviewer, you need to, like, your code should be actually very neat. Like the variable name shouldn't be just xyz, etc. So you need to write proper variable names, proper good code. And finally, it's like you should explain to them how the algorithm walks through, and you should like walk through the code and explain them the time and space complexity of the algorithm and if it can be improved any further.
Okay, so let's go to the next question. Okay, so would you please share the general selection procedure for your particular profile during the CDC internship drive? Anyone would like to go first?
Right. For okay, so for quant profile, it mostly depends on the company as such, but in general, it involves certain shortlisting tests that checks your skills on prop stats and coding skills, and problem solving skills, which involves puzzles. And after that shortlisting test, once the people are shortlisted for interviews, there are, I guess, 3 or 4 rounds of interviews. One of them might be HR. And all of these 3 rounds of interviews, one important aspect is the CV that you need to prepare. Apart from that, the interviewers ask drill you down on your CV and ask you questions related to prop stats and coding. This is more or less it in general.
Anyone else would like to chip in?
Yeah, so for the data science role, it again depends from company to company. I can tell that for Microsoft, you would have a screening test first of all. So in our time, we had a 1 hour test of 50 questions, and it was on ML prop stats, and few questions were also there from DL. But this time they changed the pattern, and they had 2 coding questions on Python, and it was again related to machine learning. It was not that tough. Only the key was that if you can think properly at the first go, then it was a very means quite a normal question only. And then after the initial screen test, we will be having interview rounds. So in my case, there were 2 rounds, but in general, there are say 2 to 3 rounds. And the first round would be technical, and they would ask you questions on DSA, and you have to code in front of them while your screen would be shared. And then in the second round, there were questions regarding to ML and prop stats. And in the third round would be mostly HR, where you would be asked questions regarding your CV. In my case, the second half of the second round was only HR, where they asked a very generic HR questions, and then questions were asked related to the CV.
Okay, so anyone else would like to take from it?
Yeah, so like for my case, there was a total of 5 rounds for Salesforce. Initially, there was one shortlisting round, which was followed by 3 technical interviews and one HR round on the final interview day. So, like in the first round, that is the shortlisting round, there were basically 3 problems, and like one of them only was quite difficult. Like the other two ones were like not much difficult. Like if you practice a lot on code forces, etc., like you would be easily able to solve them. And finally, like the third question was a bit difficult. And coming to the next rounds, that is on the interview day, there were basically like 3 technical rounds. And among those 3 technical rounds, the uh, first round was quite easy. Like it was it there was a question on DP on trees, things like that. And in the second round, there were 2 problems, and I don't actually remember what the problems were, but they were like a bit harder than what was there in the first round. And finally, like later we had an HR round, and that was followed by another technical round. And that technical round was like there was a very tough question there, which was like it was probably an NP hard problem. So they didn't want me to give the exact solution, but an optimal like a solution like which is approximately the best one which you can find. Like you can create an approximate algo and explain them like how what is the row, that is the approximation factor of the algorithm. Yeah.
Okay, so anyone else would
I
like
go
to?
for consulting case. I'll go for consulting companies. So usually what happens is first you'll have a CV based shortlist. Then they'll look for 2 or 3 spikes in your CV. 2-3 spikes could be, the CGPA, your past experiences, your PORs, your extracurriculars. And inter ID is definitely a plus point in the extracurriculars. After the CV shortlisting, there is usually, so the process for consulting company starts well before day zero. You'll have at least 2-3 weeks before when the shortlist is released. You'll have 2-3 weeks till day one. In those 2-3 weeks, you'll be having buddy rounds. Buddy rounds are basically you are allotted a buddy who works as an associate in the firm itself. You solve cases with them. Then it's non-evaluative, but it gives you a general idea of what the interviews would look like. After the buddy rounds, there are usually 3 to 4 rounds. There's no HR round per se. Every round is a mix of HR and cases and guesstimates. So the cases would range from guesstimates, profitability, or market entry strategy. The rounds would be taken by associates, managers, and consultants. All the rounds are, partially HR, where they talk about your CV. Will they also talk about your in-campus involvements and all of the things? And apart from that, each round contains at least one guesstimate and a profitability or a market entry strategy. In the final round, you'll be faced by a partner or a principal. That would basically be a discussion type of round where you'll probably work on an unconditional case, maybe something like, there are pirates on an island and you want to do something. So the last round is basically a weird round. If you can bucket your thoughts and present it in a structured way in a bucketed form, that should be helpful. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll take it over for finance. Is again the first CV shortlist is very similar to what Parth mentioned for consulting. If you look at your CGPA, any good interns with good brand names or startups or any research projects which are more relevant to that profile, good PORs and extracurriculars. That basically consists of a CV shortlist. There are also tests which are there before, and they do carry weightage as well. So different firms have different types of tests. In general, they will be testing your quantitative and verbal abilities. Some could have short case studies. Some could be testing your situational judgment skills. Some firms like Nomura, for example, have group discussions as well. So it helps to keep updated on current events or certain topics which are talked about widely. Talking about Deutsche, so the interview process had, so first of all, there was a situational judgment test, which we had. It's pretty simple, nothing that you can prepare for. It's something which you have to use your judgment and give. Once you're shortlisted based on your CV and the situational test, there are 3 rounds. So a lot of, like I said, most part of these interview rounds was CV based. And there is no segregation based on HR or CV or technical. All rounds have a sort of merged combination of these 3. But yeah, a lot of them ask you about what you've done in your intern and in-depth questions, or they can like tweak questions and ask you. In terms of HR, they can ask you weird instances where you kind of should be prepared with certain situations which you can talk about when it comes to HR questions. Like they might ask you for instances where you've failed and you had your back against the wall and like you still like overcame that failure and got on with your work. So any such situation which can come to your way. Technical, they asked me a short guesstimate as well, and other than that there were a lot of quick math questions as well. So again, like they don't test you a lot on your finance knowledge. Like I said, it might be there if you have certain things written down in your CV, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Did you do any internships or projects before your CDC intensive? Abhijay, would you like to start?
So yeah, like for my case, I actually had done an internship. So so it was in the second year. So in second year winter, like I did an internship on, like it was an SW intern itself under a professor in EC department in IIT Kharagpur. So that actually gave me an experience on how to, like how the corporate culture is basically like. Though it happened in KGP, it was like the company was a startup which was created by that professor himself, and they employed people from outside the campus, so it was almost like a corporate culture. So I like got a bit of an exposure from there, and yeah, like it did impact me in the way that during my CDC internship interviews, they actually asked me about what I did during that intern, and whether I was able to like communicate with the others, and uh, like how my project went through and what was my contribution, etc. So yes, that actually helped.
Pratyush, should you like to go next?
Yeah, so as I said that I started preparing for this role in March 2020, and within the 5 months, I couldn't do that much of a impactful internship, but yeah, I did one intern in a startup, and it was on data mining, not exactly on data science, but it did give me an idea regarding the corporate world and how to communicate with your team members and manage your priorities and everything. And yeah, pretty much that.
Anshu, would you like to go next?
Yeah, so I had did one internship before my CDC. It was an internship in analytics based on deep learning. And yeah, it did impact my internship selection, since various questions were asked related to this internship to me during the interviews. Apart from that, I had done a few competitions and projects in machine learning and on Kaggle, which were also handy.
Parth, would you like to go next?
Sure. So prior to CDC, I worked. I did two internships, I think. First was as a product manager with a startup, and another one was as a strategy consultant in another consulting firm. So the consulting experience really gave me a more insight towards what the role would look like, and I was prepared with a lot of skills like in general interview prep for consulting roles was estimates and all. Internships are very impactful in general for any kind of interview. I think that everyone on the panel would agree with that your internship and what you write on your CV is actually it's a very valid discussion point during an interview. You need to justify what you did. If you're mentioning any metric or if you're mentioning any result that you came across with, you'll need to explain it at how you came to that result. Why did you apply that particular solution? So it's very important to choose good internships, do good work in them, and then present it in a way that seems like okay, this guy knows what he is doing, and the things he has written on his CV is actually the right ones. He's not faking anything. So yeah, that's the key thing. Do interns. Interns are very important in general. I would suggest everyone to go for at least one corporate intern before CDC, and try to get an intern with something that is aligned to what you'll be going to apply for CDC, and portrayed in a way that the CDC target firm finds it appealing.
Thank you, Parth. Athar, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I think Parth has covered almost all points here. So, like he said, internships are going to be talked about a lot in your interview. So, if you like, your interview usually lasts longer when you have internships, which you can talk about, or projects you can talk about, which are more relevant, and the interviewer can take that direction in terms of his questions, right? So, in my case, I interned at KPMG in after my second year, and after my third year, I interned at a loan disbursement startup, which was a little more on the technical side. KPMG was a little more on the finance side, so it was related to substream of finance, which is derivatives. So what I'd suggest is, if possible, you should try like building a diverse profile with different kinds of interns and different kinds of projects. So yeah, there should be a certain amount of diversity on your CV, which shows it's again not necessary that all of it should be finance related. A little bit of it should could also show that you are interested on the technical side as well. There could be term projects which you can include. There can be competitions which you can do. I had a certain equity research competition which I had put into my CV as well. So yeah, these really help. And like I said, if whatever you are putting in your CV, you should be prepared to talk about that in depth and answer anything and everything that can be related to that those interns or projects, whatever, because they can go into a lot of depth while they're questioning. So that's very important. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Atav. Moving on, how to get internship and projects before CTC? Can you walk us through the process? Atav, would you like to start?
How to get internships or projects before. So before your CDC, there are just 2-3 different methods which most people use. So first of all, being a lot of people use their contacts to get internships. Now that's rare. So if you don't have contacts, you can always um, use cold mailing itself. So cold mailing will follow, there is a certain procedure which you should follow. Go through the internet, look for firms or startups which you think you would be interested in, make a list, find. First of all, you need to have a really good LinkedIn profile, and for whoever who doesn't have one, should really work on connecting and networking with more people through LinkedIn itself. That is really, really important. From there, you start getting contacts, and you know that is where you can really start your whole process of connecting through with HRs and all. So yeah, that is what most people usually follow. So yeah.
Anshul, would you like to go next?
Right. So as Atharv mentioned, so there are a few limited processes that we can follow. One of them would be LinkedIn. Other can be websites like Dare to Compete, Internshala, and all of those. Then there are certain, if you want to do a research internship, then there are certain uh, programs in Kharagpur itself. Apart from that, there are contacts, of course, and yeah, these are more or less the ways that people follow to get an internship.
Parth, would you like to add anything to this?
I think most of the points have been covered, but yeah, in case you're not able to get a hold of a good internship off campus, or nothing is being converted through LinkedIn or through cold mailing, you can anytime reach out to your seniors who have worked with your target firms as a off campus intern, and probably ask them for contacts. That usually helps in most of the cases, as the HRs usually remain the same over the period of 1 year. Apart from that, there are several platforms that you can refer to. I did not refer to them personally, but I have some friends who have gone through them. Maybe something like Trinity, or there are similar other programs which guarantee you internship, and they provide you with training and all. I have not gone through them, but in case you're not able to get hold of anything through mailing and all, that's a good option to also consider.
Vijay, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, so along with the points that already have been mentioned, I would just add that it's always better to have a good network of friends. So in case someone gets hold of an intern and that firm is actually like looking for another one, then you like that guy can refer you as a possible candidate and you can interview for it. So like
Okay.
having friends always helps.
Okay, so like Abhijay, we had a question from the chat which was along the same line. So like someone asked that for students having CDC in the upcoming summers, should they focus on getting internships now, or should they focus on like honing their CP skills for the SWE profile?
I would say like till April you should focus on honing your skills, and then like you should like keep doing interview bits, etc. Like if you get an intern, it's always good, but if you don't have one, like for many people it often is the case that their first intern is a CDC intern, so like it's not a big deal to worry about. Like yeah. But yeah, definitely like having an intern always helps. So if you can get an intern, that's good. If you can't, then like go on doing CP.
Okay. Patish, do you have anything to add? Or any of you would like to add anything else?
No, apart from whatever has been said, only one small thing to add that if you are unable to get internship in corporate world, so no need to get that much disheartened, and you can always try to reach out the professors from IIT KGP itself. Like you can go to the website of a particular department like CS or any other department on which you target to get a project, and then you can mail them with your proposal and everything. And most of the times, the profs are helpful and they can help you getting a meaningful project also.
Okay. So moving on,
Okay.
can you share your Parth, go on.
Let's go to the next question. Can you share your summer internship experiences? What did you work on? So, any one of you can start answering this question.
Yeah, so regarding my internship, it was an online internship, and the Microsoft's onboarding team is a very efficient team, and they would ensure that you have a very smooth onboarding throughout the 8 or 10 weeks, whichever the duration of your internship would be. And you can just reach to them in case of any difficulties. And my work was on multivariate anomaly detection in time series data. And I had a team of 5 members, and I had one another intern from IIT Kanpur, and the other 3 members were data scientists working already in Microsoft. At And they were quite helpful to me. The work hours were very flexible. Like if your team decides that you should have meeting at 3 a.m. in the morning, then you can also have a meeting at 3 a.m. in the morning and sleep throughout your day. It all depends on your cooperation and everything your team decides. But you have to have some boundaries, like you cannot disturb them during the weekends and everything. So, and apart from that, in the technical ground, I had to read a lot of papers in the beginning of the internship, like for the first 1 or 2 weeks, and then I had to get myself accustomed with their interface, with their code base, understand them for the next 2 weeks, and then for the remaining 6 weeks, I had a 10 weeks intern. uh, I had to develop a solution and then try it on a small data set, like say 6 to 8 GBs of the data. The entire data set was around 80 to 100 GB. So, and if the solution was scalable, then it would be then proceeded towards deploying it in the process, in the pipeline. So that was pretty much about it. And yes, it was quite smooth. Like if you had any doubt or anything, you can always reach out to your mentors and everything. They were very helpful and supportive. Yeah.
Okay, Parth, can you give some insights about your experience?
Sure. So I primarily worked on 3 cases. First one was basically a Canadian educational institute entering US markets. So we had to devise a market entry strategy for them. The second one was, it was a due diligence, sell side due diligence. Private equity was selling one of its assets to another private equity. So we had to do a due diligence and market landscape for that firm. The last one was the one which I was predominantly working on, was another due diligence. That was a buy side due diligence. What that means is company X was buying company Y for about $300 million, and we were working on that deal to probably forecast the financials and look at the future prospects of the company that was being acquired. So most of the work that you do is working on Excel models, projecting financials, and working on financial models, and making a lot of PPTs. You spend a lot of time working on PowerPoint and Excel per se. And the working hours, they can be intimidating for some of us. So you usually start working at 10, working from 10 a.m. and then if on good days the work will go on till 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and on bad days you just pray to God that it doesn't go till 2 3 a.m. So apart from that, the team is really helpful. You'll probably be staffed in a team that has 4 to 5 people. You would be the junior most one. You would be working as an associate, and you'll have probably a consultant or a senior consultant and a manager who will be guiding you throughout. The team is very helpful throughout. If you face any problem working on some Excel formulas, or you don't know how to do a financial forecast, then feel free to ask anyone, and they'll be helpful. Yeah, that's what. It's a pretty good experience, but can be a bit tedious if you're not prepared for it.
Okay. Anshul, can you tell your experience with Quant Intern?
Right. So I also had an online internship myself, and looking at the company, the onboarding process was quite smooth, and each of the intern was allotted to one of the VP. So it was that there was a team of 5 or 6 people. Each of them included an intern, and other were experienced professionals. So you were the junior most, and it usually happens, especially in investment banks, is that they do not expect much from interns. So you can consider that you would be able to get answer to any question that you would be asking to the professionals there. So that's the case. Apart from that, my project involved, to describe it vaguely, it involved use of probability and statistics to back forecast the data on a credit spread time series. And yeah, it was quite a good experience for 2 months, and I got to learn a lot about the corporate world and quant itself being a field. Yeah.
Abhijay, would you like to go next?
Yeah, so like Salesforce has one of the best work cultures in the world. It is currently number 2 in the world according to Fortune. So like my work hours were also very flexible. On an average, I worked for about 5 hours a day, and like the onboarding was very smooth. So they provided everything that I needed, including laptops, etc. And there were awesome gifts and swags on regular intervals. And what I worked on was basically I was allotted to Salesforce's Health Cloud. So what the Health Cloud does is basically it is uh, like trying to revolutionize the way health is moving digitally. It is trying to move the health industry to the digital domain, right? So my project was basically to build an application that aimed to recognize, analyze, and store data automatically using the patient voice conversations. So basically I can't talk much about the work I did during the internship, but it was a Spring Boot application which I had to build. It was a web app. So using that web app, the patients which were trying to enter into a new medical like industry, etc. So suppose a patient is trying to register himself to a new hospital in which he or she wants an appointment or something, like then all the conversation that he or she has to do with the healthcare registrar, that is the one who is onboarding the patient, will now be done completely digitally online through the web app. So that was the web app which I built during that intern, and it used NLP also. So my main work was software engineering, that is to build a web application. And the major part of it was backend in the last so the whole intern actually lasted for 8 weeks, and during the first 6 weeks I mainly focused on the backend, and later in the next 2 weeks I complete the web app with the front end also. So that was the whole structure.
Okay. Atharv, can you tell about yourself, your experience with?
Yeah. So, Deutsche, first of all, the one good thing that Deutsche does is uh, as soon as you start, the first week will be so they hold a boot camp of finance where they have an instructor coming in from one of their instructors who come in and like teach you the basic concepts of capital markets and things you might need or are helpful for your internship. So that's the first week. After that, everyone's allotted their projects. So what I worked on, I was a part of the counterparty portfolio management desk. Basically, what this desk does is it kind of tries to hedge the risks which are present in the DB fixed income portfolio trades. So I was looking at a certain parameter in this CVA risk. So my project was very research based. A lot of people, a lot of my co-intern colleagues, they worked on projects which involved them using Python or Excel macros or certain other software, SQL as well. A lot of them worked on different softwares. My project as such was more research based. I had to use only Excel and PowerPoint and not very advanced features of them as well. So it involved going through a lot of research reports by credit rating agencies and looking at this parameter historically, how it has varied across different markets, how it has varied across time, over time, right? So that was what was my work. Another good thing that Deutsche does is so it's an investment bank with a lot of different businesses going on at the same time, right? A lot of employees in there. Uh, so not every employee knows what's going on in another business. So what they do is they hold introductory sessions with people from different businesses telling you what their business is about. And you can have a Q&A with them as well to learn more about what this investment bank does and what its different pillars are. So that's another good thing that Deutsche has. Yeah, I think other than that, you are obviously allotted a buddy and a mentor who you can talk to your problems about, who will guide you throughout the whole internship. And yeah, they're really very helpful. They will take out as much time as you want them to. And yeah, it's a great experience in all in all.
Okay. So let's get to the next question. Okay, so which other firms hire for your particular profile in IIT Kharagpur? Anyone of the panelists can go first if you like to.
Okay, so basically for software profiles, like almost every company that comes to KGP has a software profile. But yeah, definitely like all the software companies do have a software profile and you can apply for them. Like almost all the tech companies you can name, all of them hire, like all of them which have some office in India do hire from KGP.
Okay, anyone else would like to give their insight?
Yeah, so for data science roles in the internship process, in our case, there weren't that much of companies which came to hire for this role, but this year the stats rose and like there were many companies like Flipkart, Data Science, Amazon ML, Gartner, Adobe, and there were many companies which were hiring for the analyst roles and also particularly in deep learning roles. Like Sony Japan was came only for research-based deep learning roles. So if someone is interested, he or she can definitely apply there. Yeah, we don't have that much of plethora of companies as Abhijay said for the software, but yeah, companies do come for data science.
I think for finance, other than Deutsche, there's Nomura, there's Credit Suisse. A lot of investment banks are there and other finance-related profiles as well. There's American Express, MasterCard. I think JPMC is there, Morgan Stanley. So you have a lot of options for placements as well as internships. So yeah, and each of these are, I think, at least for this year, they also like expanded on their hiring. So if this trend continues, then yeah, it'll be great.
Right. And for quant, so quant itself, as described in KGP, majorly includes of two different sides. So one is quantitative trading and another is the analyst roles. So for quantitative trading, there are this year we saw many companies come for quantitative trading roles, which basically involved HFTs like Quadai, APD Portfolio, NK Securities, etc. Apart from that, for analyst roles, there is Credit Suisse that mostly comes for internships and not for placements. Then there are major investment banks like Goldman, Nomura, Credit Suisse. This year, Morgan Stanley also came for quant role. So yeah, these are the companies.
So we circulated a query form and received a few questions. The following are those questions. What is the work we get to do once we are selected as a software developer? Is it more like what people do in open source? Abhijay, would you like to answer this?
Okay, yeah. So what happens in open source is that you are perhaps the only guy who is working for your particular part, and like there's a bunch of other guys who are working on different other components of the whole project, right? But like in software engineering, what happens is there's a clear defined role that you have to do, and like you can also communicate with other members of the team to understand like what part they have to do in it. So basically, like there's a team and you are the youngest member of the team, so you need to understand what part of the work has already been done by the senior members of the team, and then you need to like enhance upon that, and maybe you need to continue. Yeah, like your part will be very well defined rather than open source.
Okay, also like what are the CS concepts apart from CPR required for a software problem like DBMS groups, are those required?
Yeah, like as I mentioned already, so like it may happen that in your interviews, the interview directly starts with DBMS, OOPS, computer networks, etc. So yes, like it is always helpful if you are prepared with those before you sit for the interviews. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Abhijay. Moving on to the next question. Is it possible to change roles in the future if you went for a particular role, but after some years decided to switch to core or vice versa? Is this doable? So, like any of our panelists would like to take up this question.
Yeah, it's completely possible to switch roles. Yeah, like I said that I myself was into core engineering for the first 2 years of my college life, and then I switched to ML and data science. And also, if you are placed in some company after these 4 years of life, you are still at max 22 years of age, and then it's not the final company you are working on. You can definitely explore the fields and build your skill set. And if you think that you want to switch your company or switch the role, you may definitely go for it. There's no harm in it.
Okay, so like any of you would like to add anything else to this? Okay, then moving on.
How exactly does a quant strat intern help the investment bank in their revenue generation? Anshul or Athar, would you like to answer?
Yeah, so the the work done by a quant strats, or so as the name mentions it, quant and strats. It so the the intern or that profile in general helps the firm by, it mostly works on data that can help them, like forecasting data for revenue generation, or it major part involves risk management, like calculating value at risk. And these are few important points that are required by any investment bank to make an investment, so make a trade, we can say. And this is the major part of work that is involved, and it is quite similar to a middle office or front office role. So yeah, that is another thing. And this is how the intern or profile in general helps the bank.
Adding on to that, as an intern, you might not be expected to work on what the desk allotted to you does a certain has a certain work base amount of work that they do on a daily basis, right? You might not be expected to do that work itself. They can allot you the work which they want to explore. Like for example, in my case, I had to do research work, which not a lot of their current employees would be doing, right? They would be working on their daily desk trades and, like Anshul said, managing certain risks or calculating VAR, any such work that they usually do on a daily basis, they'd be involved with that. So they'd be allotting you work which they would think would help them in the future. making their models better or making certain processes more efficient in the bank, looking for solutions to different problems that they face in their softwares, anything as such. So that helps them in the future. So that's like an investment for them, right? So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Yes. So let's go to the next question. How should one start with the field of consulting? What are the books that need to be studied? Parth, would you like to answer this question?
There's no particular book to be studied. In consulting, it's good to have a structured way of thinking. Read books that teach you how to think, not what to think. Basically, what I would suggest is there are a lot of books like there's The McKinsey Way, written by McKinsey consultants. There are several other books on thought leadership. There's no particular book per se that would prepare you for a consulting role. For the interviews, definitely there are a number of books. You might have heard Case in Point, Case Interviews, Crack, and whatnot. But to generate or to build that mindset, it's a totally different volume. You have to talk to a lot of people, gather a lot of insights of different fields. Reading books in general, reading books would not help per se. I mean, it will help you grow as a person, but as far as CDC internship, that short stint of yours is considered, probably not a very good idea. Once you start with the consulting career, it's good to read those books. To start with the field of consulting, go with the standard books, form a case group, practice cases and guesstimates with them. Keep questioning, how different businesses work, what the key drivers of profits and revenue for different businesses are. Let's say you're faced with a profitability case and you don't know, what are the profit drivers for a particular type of company. Let's say for an e-commerce company, there could be various things that drive profits. So to start with consulting, basically, practice a lot of cases. Do interns that require documentation, thinking, and ideation on a larger basis. Maybe go for product or other strategy, CEO's office roles. For books, I would suggest just probably start preparing with the consulting case book itself. Don't just read them, prepare them with your buddy or a friend of yours who can be an interviewer and you can be an interviewee. That would be the best practice to go for.
Okay, let's go to the next question. Is prior knowledge of finance required to get into a finance profile? Any of the panelists would like to answer?
So I think I mentioned this. A lot of prior knowledge of finance is not required by most firms. So in the case of Deutsche, I can tell you they definitely did not require you to have any finance knowledge. The shortlisting process itself does not need you to have any previous interns in finance, any previous projects. Your projects could be related to something else completely, but you should have an in-depth knowledge of what you've done there. However, saying that, like I said, if you do have a basic knowledge, it does give you an edge. For example, like I said, there are group discussions in certain firms. So, like for example, Nomura, they do have group discussions, and their group discussions are a little different from the ones you can have in general. So they can probably like just have 3-4 people together and ask them certain basic questions about finance. For example, a lot of people know about a certain thing called a Black-Scholes model in derivatives. So that's very commonly asked to a lot of people. So these certain small things which are there, you can like probably gain knowledge of that. But most firms, you do not require any prior knowledge of finance. Yeah.
So what is the difference between data science intern and machine learning intern, and how you should prepare for either? So Pratyush, would you like to take up this question?
Yeah, so I won't go deep into this terminology because there are many terminologies like data science, data engineer, machine learning, and everything. So the basic preparation strategy for each one of them is the same. You should have a good grasp of the algorithms and have a proficient should be proficient in Python programming. One thing I can say that in machine learning intern, more focus would be there on the analysis part, and you would be required to use statistics, and more play would be there with the data sets. Like you should you would be doing more thing revolving around the data pre-processing and then feature engineering and everything. And after that huge step, you would be performing or applying the machine learning algos one by one and then checking the results. So yeah, and also in data science intern, the feature engineering and data pre-processing part does play a major role. But after that, you would be required to devise some new techniques, like which won't be that much of conventional. Like you have to try out different things, and then in data science, you are expected that you should know a bit of deep learning and everything, because that would be applied there. And for both, yeah, like for preparation, you have to be proficient with probability statistics because that is asked in the interviews. And again, I'm telling that during the internship, you won't be required to use them. And one more thing, that in many companies regarding data science, now they are also asking DBMS, because you would be dealing with huge data sets. As I said that in my case, the original data set size was 80 to 100 GB. So you have to deal with the data sets, like cleaning the data, retrieving it, and then sorting and everything. In the Cosmos database storage, for that you would be required to run SQL or C# scripts on that. So, and a basic knowledge of cloud, like how to use cloud, maybe Azure or AWS would be fine, because you have to deploy the code on the cloud clusters. They're not on your own machine. So not that much deep, but yeah, like what does cloud does and how to deploy codes and everything. A basic knowledge would be fine, apart from the major theoretical requirements.
Okay, so like we are to the end of our session, so like we have some time left. So we are open to questions. Like if if you have any questions in the audience, you can either raise your hands and we'll unmute you, or we can you can just leave it in the chat. So one of the questions that we have in the audience is, what's the difference between a quant trader and a quant analyst?
Right. So quant trader, you can consider it to be a person who develops algorithms to especially mostly carry out trading, to carry out trades in various different stock markets. Apart from that, a quant analyst is a person who apart from that, a quant analyst is a person who can do, he can also do the trading, but apart from that, he also does things like forecasting models, generating data, and visualizing data as such for different investment banks and firms. So quant data is a term that is usually mostly used for trading in HFTs and mid-frequency trading firms. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
So like, let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Like if any audience has any more questions, they can put up in the chat or like raise their hands. Can anyone unmute Prathamesh? He has some question. He's raised his hand.
So I wanted to ask, what did you guys give up in these 4 years to be where you are right now?
Interesting question. Would any of our panelists like to take up?
There's actually nothing to give up per se. I think all of our panelists have pretty much life as well and balance things out. Want anything to get a desired role. Basically managing your time in the right way. Don't think of it like you'll have to give up, chilling out with your friends or something. Usually, you prepare for some time and then you enjoy for some time. You don't give up on anything.
Yeah, very rightly said by Mark. Like, you don't have to sacrifice your happiness or anything to get success. You just need to learn how to balance things. And yeah, I totally agree with Mark that first you just learn and do something during the day, and then you just reward yourself by chilling out with your friends and everything. You don't have to sacrifice anything.
Okay, so I have another question. How can we apply for internships at consulting firms like Kearney, if I'm spelling it right, and after second year? How can we apply for internships at consulting firms like Kearney, etc., after second years?
To apply for consulting firms like Kearney and all, probably reach out to the seniors that are working at Kearney or any other consulting firm. And the procedure is pretty much same. You'll be asked, 1-2 case rounds. I personally applied to two firms, Kearney and there's another firm called Frost and Sullivan. Had offers from both of them, but the process is the same. That they'll ask you 2-3 case rounds. The main thing to look out for the role is at Kearney, the role I was being offered was actually not proper consulting. It was more as a research associate. EY Partner was also offering a similar role. So if you want to work a proper consulting role, that's a very slight chance that you will get. Probably with boutique firms like Frost that I worked with or IQVIA, you will get an opportunity to work as a proper consulting intern. But if you go for Kearney, EYP, and other big names in consulting, you'll probably be tasked with a research associate. Where you'll probably will be doing grunt work and research, going through Google and all. So uh, try best to get a role that is actually inclined towards consulting and not this googling and putting down things in documents. On the other hand, the brand value of EY Partnan and Kearney will definitely give you a major spike on your CV while you sit for CDC. So it's kind of a bias weighting trade-off. So look at it that way only.
Yeah, Shrudeep, you can unmute and ask your question. Hello, Sudeep, you have raised your hand. If you have any question, you can unmute and ask it. Okay, we got one question from Akshit. Are there any other technical roles companies hire other than software development or data science on campus? Abhijit, would you like to answer this?
Repeat the question once.
Yeah, I cannot actually understand
Yeah.
what he means by this.
Like I think I'm also not sure. Like Akshit, can you elaborate what you meant by this question? The question was, are there any other technical roles companies hire other than software development or data science on campus? I think what he means to ask is like, are there roles like web development and Android development, app development? Do they come on campus? I'm just this is just guesswork because it's not quite clear to me what he's trying to ask.
Okay, so like in our company, what happens is machine learning interns or like those kind of people are also taken as software development interns only, and then they are assigned those works. So yeah, and like generally currently all the software development work that you will be doing as interns will either be web development or will be app development, like as far as I know.
Okay, so since we don't have any more questions, before we end today's session, would any of our panelists like to add anything?
Okay, so yeah, so cloud security basically one of the three interns that were hired at Salesforce worked on cloud security. So he was also taken as a software engineering intern himself. Okay, coming to the next question, the technologies that I used during my intern is Java, that is a Spring Boot framework. And what happened was, like, before I started my intern, there was like there was a general list of the technologies which we need to learn. So they gave it to us 2 weeks before the intern started, and like the company also provided to us free like e-learning platforms, links to them like Plural Sites and Coursera. So those courses were made free for us. And coming to languages, the language which I used was like Java for the backend, and for the front end I used JavaScript, the React framework of JavaScript, and HTML, CSS. Yeah, and okay, and what other technologies? So coming to other technologies for backend, like we used MongoDB and PostgreSQL for databases. And yeah, and like I also learned how to use Postman to, yeah, so I also learned Postman and some other like Docker, etc. I used a bit. So those technologies you'll actually get to know them while working. So while you are working, the mentor that is assigned to you, like he or she will generally like introduce you to those techs if you don't actually have used them.
It was a great event today. I would thank all the panelists for their valuable time and sharing their wonderful insights with us. I would also like to thank the team of Student Welfare Group for making this event a success and everyone for attending this event. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best, guys.
Thank
Feel
you.
free to reach out
All the
anytime.
best.
Yeah, all the best,
Yeah, all the
everyone.
best.
Hopefully, you all will be having offline internships, so that would be fun.
Hopefully, you'll be replacing us next time. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Bye.